Hi Zesties. Okay, today I'm going to be eating steak and shake, and I'm going to do a story time of how I fell for an MLM. So, and I know my background and my audio and everything's like not perfect, but I'm trying. My life's a mess and I'm just kind of surviving barely. So, and I don't even know why I continue to do this, but this is my midlife crisis and I've just always wanted to do this. So, okay. So where to begin? Like, if you follow me, you know that I was living in Tampa and then I was living in St. Pete and now I'm living on the beach in Pinellas County. So I've been having like housing instability. Unfortunately, I've had housing instability since the day I was born up until now. And I may always have it. Wait, no. I will have my penthouse with the grill on the balcony and the hammock on the balcony. Ooh, it is manifested. Anyway, and here's the creamsicle shake. So good, even though they didn't put the top on right and it like spilled everywhere, but So, I periodically just apply to jobs, like just on instinct, just as a way to increase my income, right? Like, see what jobs are out there and talk to them and say, oh, I make this much right now. If you can offer me this much, then I'll work for you or whatever. Fries aren't that good. Even though you guys say you do beef tallow, it's not working. But the burgers at Steak and Shake. So anyway, I was applying to a job, or no, I was applying to all these jobs. I got some responses, including from a very sketchy looking company. Like, I don't know, just the way that they wrote was really weird. Kind of like a extreme marketing like they were trying to sell me from the get-go. And the person on Indeed was getting like blocked on Indeed and then unblocked on Indeed, like that. Like it was saying in the message section, it was like, this person has been removed from Indeed, and then they like came back and whatever. But they said they wanted to talk to me, and I said, okay, whatever. Why not? What do I have to lose? This was a company involved in life insurance sales. I don't want to say the exact name, but yeah. Now I find out, I guess MLMs or pyramid schemes are like really common in life insurance, and now I really regret getting my license and everything. But anyway, I met with the woman who was like recruiting me. So we start talking, and she immediately is like, oh, my highest earner makes 200,000. So, or my highest earner made 200,000 this year. And now that's something I know about an MLM. Oh, that they promise you a lot of money. Also, this company was sketchy to me, so I searched, are they an MLM? Oops, now you see my broken finger. Disabled homosexual, follow me out of pity, please. So, so, you know, I looked up online, is this company an MLM? And there was arguments. Is it an MLM? Is it not? And now I realize that means it is an MLM because the MLMs have a lot of influence and they will never call themselves an MLM and they will silence those who do. But anyway, I was like, oh, it's not an MLM because, all this, I see people saying it's not. So I was talking to the lady, and she was really nice and cool and made the job seem like incredible, And I was like, whatever, I'm sold, let's do it. So then she's like, okay, well, in order to do the job, you have to get certified to sell life insurance. So I studied for this life insurance test and took it. And I feel stupid now. Oh, another thing too that she sold me, because I have all this emotion about a house. I almost had a house in 2019 and I ruined my only chance, and then I fought for my house and became disabled and the prices tripled and I lost my house out of my depression and stupidity and whatever. Ooh, brain freeze. So anyway, I had mentioned to her, like, she was talking about money. Oh, 200,000. Oh, you'll make, $200,000. I'm like, oh, that's amazing, because I want a house. And I told her the house story. And she was like, oh, well, like 10 of my employees got houses in their first year or whatever. She like promised me a house. So I was like, okay, let's go. But now here's a couple things that I didn't realize about MLMs. Number one, they invited me to this big event. I didn't realize that's like a sign of an MLM is like a big event. They invited me to this big event. And on the Instagram page of said event, there was a lot of like dancing and stuff. Like they were like dancing and going woo and stuff like that. And I thought that was a little weird. Like, wait, we're selling insurance. Why? Why the dancing and singing and dance music and stuff like that? And chanting and hoorahing and whatever. But I was just like, hey, whatever, because I want to make that $200,000 a year. Maybe I could, but considering all the stuff I am about to tell you, it sounded kind of weird to me. So anyway, they put me in all these WhatsApp groups related to the company, and also these weekly Zoom meetings, or no, like multi times a week Zoom meetings where, they occasionally talked about what they did, which is supposedly selling insurance. However, most of it was related to money. Oh, like they would just be like, oh, here's our top earners of the week. Such and such made like 10,000 this week, or whatever. So, Like, the red flags were kind of starting to appear, but I just ignored them because I wanted the money. So then I eventually passed my life insurance exam. And now technically I'm like working, right? And so this is where stuff got kind of weird. So after the exam, they put me into the Zoom meetings for the people who have the license. Before, I was in the Zoom meetings for people who are trying to get the license, or who don't have the license yet. That dreamsicle milkshake is so good. But, you know, now they put me in these Zoom meetings of people who have the license. So, something I found really weird. So, number one, this company like did a lot of promotions based on how many policies you sell, and they typically made a big deal of like who they promote. So in this meeting this one day, my first meeting of the like, oh, you have your license, you're working, whatever. There was a woman who was promoted. During this, the woman who was conducting the meeting, the Zoom meeting, she said to the woman that was promoted, that just got promoted, like, oh, your policy, how much was your policy? And the woman was like, oh, like $3,000 or whatever. The woman conducting the meeting asked the woman who was promoted about the policy that she had purchased with the company, and the woman was talking about the policy. So this was my first realization that all these people, like the big time earners and whatever that I was seeing, they all have purchased policies. And I was kind of like, okay, that's a little weird to me, because why, if it's a healthy company, I feel like they shouldn't know what policies you have, or like why does the person holding the meeting know that this person has a policy, right? So then, when I look on the Instagrams of the big earners, and I don't know if this is normal, but like most of their sales seem to be through Instagram. And the big like leaders had all these like videos in sports cars. Sorry, my broken finger is not cooperating with me today. So, you know, they had all these, they were showing off their sports cars and their wealth and whatever. So, but when I looked at some of the Instagrams of the big earners, they were all talking about their policies. They have 2 or 3 policies, and pretty much everyone who was like reporting to make money with this company was talking about their policies on Instagram as like a sales tactic. Oh, well, I have 3 policies with the company and they saved my life and whatever. So that made me really suspicious. And now when it came down to it, so I was going to be working for a life insurance broker, meaning that I was going to be selling for various companies. However, I pretty much found out at the end that it's for one company, pretty much. And I was to sign a contract with this company. And you know, it's sketchy if I didn't sign, because I've never said no to a job before, ever in my life. I come from nothing. Know this, if I ever actually get wealthy or whatever that I hope to do, know that it took some work. It took some finagling. I wasn't born with it. But anyway, so when I was signing this contract, they had me sign a specific clause that said something like this: even though our products can be beneficial to you, you are not obligated to purchase a contract as means of employment. And that was just weird to me, because I was like, why did you need to specify that? Why did you need to have me specifically sign a clause saying, although our policies would be good for you, you don't have to buy one? I kind of was like, well, they're doing that as a way to get out of legal consequences if they pressure me to buy a policy or whatever, you know? Because at this point, it kind of seemed clear that I started getting the vibe that to work here, I myself was going to have to buy a policy. So when I looked up the specific insurance company, because mind you, the company was a broker separate from the insurance company that we're selling policies for. So when I searched up the company that we are selling insurance policies for, they had had accusations of pyramid scheme behavior before. Specifically, that they were like pressuring or convincing or forcing people to buy policies as a way to work there or get promotions or whatever the case may be. Pretty much like what I was feeling like was going to happen there. And to me, that was like the biggest. I like ignored all the red flags just because I wanted the money. I want my house. I want my penthouse with the balcony, with the grill and the hammock on the balcony. Ooh, and I manifested. But anyway, so I was just like, oh, whatever, red flags don't matter, and we're in like an extreme like housing crisis and economic crisis, and I've lost all my dreams and hopes and everything, so let's just go towards the money, and I don't care. But then when I saw that in the contract, when I saw the policies might be good for you, but you don't have to buy one, I was just like, okay, that's a little too weird for me. I can't you know, like it's just too red flaggy for me to continue at that point. Like it just was too weird. And then I realized, okay, well, I fell for an MLM. Straight up. And it seems that they're common in life insurance, which makes me sad because I got my life insurance license. And I don't know how they got my information, but all these life insurance like companies keep contacting me, but they all seem really sketchy too. So, but you know, be careful when applying to jobs if you're desperate, like I am. I'm not desperate. Like I have a good career and everything. It's just I want a house. So I'm kind of desperate for that goal, you know. Like even right now, you know, it's hard. Like I want to do my mukbangs, I want to do my cooking, but I'm living in a shared house now, and don't get me wrong, I'm happy where I am, but I want my place, my kitchen, nice, fancy, modern kitchen. So, you know, I feel that, like, the person who recruited me, she immediately, like, because she immediately offered me money, like, oh, my top earner earns $200,000, and you know, you could make it too, and whatever. This caused me to tell her about my failures at becoming a homeowner. And then she picked up on that and was like, oh, well, you'll have a house. Oh, 10 of my employees got their houses in their first year and whatever. Which maybe that's true, but I feel like, you know, morally, the company didn't seem really good. Like, I felt like I was going to have to kind of scam people or, like, convince them to buy policies that are maybe not good for them. So anyway, that's my story how I fell for an MLM. Be careful out there. If they are offering you a ton of money right off the bat, if they are having you go to events where they're dancing and singing and hoorahing, if they are, if you feel at all. See, here's the thing that got me. They didn't make me pay any money. I thought, oh, if it's an MLM, they have to make me pay, like I'm going to have to be paying money. Right? So that's why I always said it wasn't an MLM until I realized, oh, they're going to get me to buy a policy. You know, I don't have to pay money for trainings or whatever, but like they're going to get me to buy a policy, which is I don't want to do. So if they ask you to buy anything or convince you to buy anything, if they're very focused on recruiting, like for example, they were telling me like, oh, before you even get your license, you can already like recruit people to the company and sell policies. Just tell us who they are and then you'll get the money later, and like all this crazy stuff that just kind of seemed really weird. Like, just be careful out there. If I fell for an MLM, you can too. So, bye, zesties.